Well, good morning, everybody. Let's try that one more time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our HousingWorks Sunrise Services. We're glad you're here with us once again. We appreciate you coming and joining us for this Friday morning. One of the things I always hate doing at conferences like this is thinking that I'm going to spend the day with strangers. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up, introduce yourself to 2 or 3 people around you that you don't know, and tell them what you do and who you are. Okay, we'll come back together. We'll try. We will hopefully have lots of time for networking throughout the day. So let me start, if I can. That's okay. We're going to sick Nora on you if we... So the person I met was Brent, who's the timekeeper, who told me I have exactly 4 minutes. So sit back down. So first of all, I want to say thanks. I want to express our thanks to our sponsors. We have had a tremendous response from our sponsors. And I'd like to ask all of them to stand up so that we can acknowledge you and thank you for your generosity and kindness. Sponsors, if you'd stand up, please. Thank you. Thanks for your support of HousingWorks. I also want to thank our speakers who are here today, who have come from near and far to lend their knowledge and expertise. We are really excited to have their thoughts and ideas, and frankly, to have them challenge us a little bit and perhaps even make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. HousingWorks has a wonderfully passionate and committed board, and I'm grateful to be a part of that board for now several years. And I'd like to ask our board members to go ahead and stand up so we can see you and acknowledge you as well. So for nearly 15 years, HousingWorks has brought together advocates and academics, policymakers, and thought leaders, all working together with the goal of increasing the supply of affordable housing in Austin and in Central Texas. And we do this by providing research and education and hopefully some real-world, doable policy suggestions. We seek nothing less than a fully inclusive community where there's all types of housing for all types of people in all parts of town. You can find HousingWorks' hard work and thought leadership in our research, including this new council district-by-district analysis that's in your folder. You can find it in our input on the comprehensive Austin Affordable Housing Blueprint passed by council last year. You can find HousingWorks in council's unanimous approval just last week on a resolution called Affordability Unlocked, which hopefully will help streamline the rules and requirements for new affordable developments. And you can absolutely find HousingWorks helping out and being at the center of the 3 successful campaigns for bond funds for affordable housing, including the $250 million that voters approved just last November, which is very exciting. And you'll also find HousingWorks catalyzing discussions on housing and healthcare, housing and job training, and this year on what I think is perhaps our toughest topic, the intersection of housing and equitable communities. We're proud to again be partnering with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Roy Lopez, who's going to come up in just a second. I hope Roy will come up now, actually. Roy's going to come up and speak after me, but the Fed has been an amazing partner, and I hope you'll take time to learn today about just the significant impact that, in particular, the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas has here in our part of the country. And I also want to acknowledge Emily Perlmutter, who's been a wonderful chair of this conference. She's part of Roy's team at the Fed, but she has been truly a miracle worker and just an indispensable part of piecing this conference together, and I'm very grateful to her. I also want to acknowledge the HousingWorks staff team headed up by our incredible Executive Director, Nora Linares-Miller. They really have been in labor on this for a year, and it's been a joy to watch, and you'll see just how talented and skilled our team is today as they pull this thing off. When council switched to when we switched to a 10-1 council 4 years ago, it really challenged all of us to think about how we move the ball on longstanding issues that our community has faced. Our city council and our manager have been pushing bold ideas, progressive ideas, and they've been expecting results. Few have pushed as hard as our mayor, and you'll get to hear from Mayor Adler in just a few minutes. And few have pushed as hard as our council has pushed. And so you will be seeing different council members here during the day, and I hope you'll introduce yourselves to them and thank them for their leadership. This is a transformative time in Austin, and they are taking some bold approaches to address issues. HousingWorks can only do what we do with the support of many friends. Many of you in this room have been friends of HousingWorks for years, and others of you are a little newer to the family. Whichever you are, I want to thank you for your investment of time, and like any good business person, you're rightly expecting to see a return on your investment. And I hope what you'll see, and that return will come in the form of leading-edge ideas, the networking that you get today, and the calls to action which we will make throughout the day. And I hope that when it's over, you'll feel like the most important discussions that were happening in Austin, Texas today were happening here in this ballroom. And that you, when you're done, that you'll join HousingWorks and work with us arm in arm to help build a more just, affordable, and equitable Austin. Thank you again for being here, and we're so proud to have you all. Roy, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome, everybody. I have had my third cup of coffee, so I'm ready to go. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to be with you here today. Again, thank you to for your attendance, and thank you for our co-hosts, HousingWorks Austin, Michael, Nora. You are fantastic people, bringing this many people together in one room. Of course, a special shout out to Emily. Emily, you are amazing. She's on the Dallas Fed team. We're so proud of her. She's a proud City of Austin resident who has put her heart and soul into this conference. So please, let's give Emily a round of applause, and Nora and Michael. As Michael mentioned, my name is Roy Lopez. I'm the Assistant Vice President over Community Development at the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. We are honored to once again partner on this great conference, and we are just blown away by this attendance. Fantastic to see this interest. I think we've hit on something very, very special here. The Federal Reserve fosters the stability and integrity of the financial system and promotes optimal economic performance for the country. Community development staff across the Federal Reserve System work at the national, regional, and local levels to promote the economic mobility and resilience of low and moderate income and underserved individuals and communities. To advance the Federal Reserve's mandates, we promote access to credit, investment, and financial services, foster a better understanding of market developments and economic conditions, and support financial stability and supervisory and regulatory policy. With that said, we are in for several great treats today. What a wonderful collection of speakers on the agenda. Congratulations again to the organizers. A conference like this brings people together to discuss possible solutions and find ways to create more quality, affordable, and equitable, not just housing, but equitable communities. One of the biggest concerns for the Texas economy today, and really punctuated in Austin, is a dire need for more housing to meet the current demands, as well as the future demands of our growing workforce. It is my opinion that the greatest threat to the growth of Austin is not a lack of jobs, but a lack of housing. Moving people further away is not the answer, because it will further tax our transportation infrastructure. There are answers to the affordable housing crisis found in our great state and in our great cities now. And it is my hope that some of these ideas will be discussed and explored today in more depth. As an example, I think we need to explore increasing density. We need to come to the realization that perhaps the big backyard is not for everyone, and pocket parks can fill that void for families seeking the great outdoor fun. Big backyards are certainly nice, but they are expensive and can be better utilized as granny flats, especially as our population ages. Lifting density restrictions in our cities is a smart idea. We need to think about construction costs that are impeding housing. If you really think about it, the way a house is put together has not changed much in the last 50 years. With labor and housing supply costs ever growing, reimagine how we can construct a home in tech-savvy Austin should be explored with great gusto. I've really become intrigued by new manufacturing processes that prefabricate large housing components. Or perhaps the future of housing is using 3D printers to construct a home. This is not science fiction. They are happening today. They are just not at scale that can bring costs down. The third component of affordable housing that should be explored is one where we expand on quality jobs that are found in the low-wage sector. Let's not forget that housing affordability is not simply a sales price on a home, but rather it is a ratio. Housing affordability is in direct correlation to how much money a person makes and the assets they have acquired. By lifting wages and building assets of the growing low-wage sector, we can positively impact housing accessibility. My hope is that when we are done today, we will walk away with many new ideas, new contacts, a framework for a more inclusive community. Each of you in this room has the power to change that trajectory of the problems we face. In Austin, you are smart, creative, technology-driven, and entrepreneurial. You have the advantages most communities only dream of, yet the housing problems persist. You have the power to change the narrative and improve our areas that need improving. Today is about ideas. Today is about connections, collaborations, and feeding on each other's energy. Have a wonderful conference, and God bless this great city. I'm going to turn it over to Rex. Thank you so much.